Hello there. Welcome to Messing About with a Narrowboat. Now, this episode, we didn't finish the below gunwale cladding because of supply chain issues, but we had fun doing a bunch of other stuff. Stick with us. So after last week's explosive episode,
You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that.
right, we've got another section of the boat done. Just doing the plugs at that end. That's the saloon done, both sides now. So my upper gunnels ply has arrived. Loaded all that into my garage today. The reason it's in the garage is really just so that I can prime it before we take it down. You know, if it's pouring a rain or something like that, I've got a lot more room in the garage. Now this is called Garnica Efficiency. It's a birch ply equivalent. It's very nice. It's incredibly light. I think they use it in like camper vans and things. But being light is quite an advantage. It's a B/BB grade, so there's a couple of knots and repairs in it. This is the back side of it. The front side is really quite good. And all we are doing is painting. So I think over the next few days, roll out the tin as insert bin, get all this primed, get the edges sealed, and then figure out how I'm going to cut the portholes out. And the Garnica Efficiency is a poplar ply, so European poplar, so it's incredibly sustainable. Very sustainable, in fact. It's got 5 cores in it for a 9mm ply. Here's a normal ply, a normal just hardwood ply. So it's you can see the comparison. It's very, very light in colour. It's engineered. It's incredibly efficient. It's very sustainable. It's WPP glue, or the equivalent of class 1 and class 3 glue. So I hope it's the right choice. I know that weight on an arrowboat isn't a mega issue. So the lightweightness of it isn't that important, but the sustainability of it is, and that's why I've gone for that. Plus, I had the lumberyard cut it all to the same size, so I don't need to have a fight on the boat with cutting it to size, the full sheets. So for a very few pounds, I think it was a £10 a sheet to cut it. You can't argue with that, just let them do it. It's a machine cut, it's better quality the cut than I could do. So, back at the boat now, after my early morning delivery. Let's get these sockets fitted from yesterday. Time for strip some wires. That one.
caution ever about using that wee cutter, just in case it cuts through the actual main wire. But you can set the height of the blade. So very handy wee tool. Strip these. Get our ferrule. Lightly join the wires together, not too much. Put the ferrule on, get the wires all the way through. Make sure there's no wires coming through there, and they're both properly seated in the sheathing. Crimping tool. There you go. That's it. Do the rest now. There you go. Now, I said before that because we use multi-stranded cable on a boat, when you put wires into sockets, the wires can splay, and that would fail the BSS. You have to have these ferrules to make a strong connection, so the screw goes onto there and then makes a good bond with the cable. Get a switch. Right. Pop the ferrules and the wire in. That's the earth. Neutral. And the live, and you can see how the screw would go onto that ferrule and make a nice firm bond. See, it's nice and safe and secure, no splay wires, no loose wires. There you go. Let's get it onto the socket. Make sure it lines up. Can't have it not lining up. That would be appalling. There you go. Not too tight, just enough. And the faceplate. Ta-da! USB socket now. Okay, DC sockets, Wago connectors. They're quite easy. Now you don't need ferrules for Wago connectors because they're designed for multi-strand cable. So the cables won't splay out. So they're good. There you go. And if I've done my measurement right, that's the same height as the one over there. Oh, I bloody well hope so. Yay!
The M90 turning in Crossgate. That's the Buntisland turning in Cowden Beast. The M6 North one laid out at 42 for Carlisle. In Scarborough,
Doesn't need to be too tight.
65 close. Due to delays because of an incident, and that's where it meets Belmont Road. The North Wales Expressway, the A55 westbound side, one lane out because of a breakdown between 35 to Topshill and 34. The M1 South queuing at 20.
There you go.
Emergency repairs following a diesel spillage. So that is
Lovely. Job done. Right, let's get on with the cladding. So there we go, a couple of hours later and another long run complete. Now those sockets on the port side, they will be either side of our sofa so that you can plug stuff in and get to your USB chargers just so that you can charge your phone up while you're sitting next to each other with your partner, enjoying your mobile phone anxiety of not having it right beside you and charging up every minute of the day. Well, it's the end of the day. What a brilliant day. That's 3/4 of the boat done. Done this side as well, but it's getting late and I didn't want to start putting another socket in. I've only got this little bit in the swim to do, which is complicated because of all the plug sockets for appliances. So I'm just going to go slow with that and then move all this crap up to the front of the boat. But yeah, what a day, just in the zone, cracking on with it quietly. Brilliant fun. Bit of fetch and carry, that's the last of the tongue and groove for the end of the boat. Hey! Okay. So I've got that far, but I've just had a phone call from a company that are trying to deliver something to my house instead of the boatyard. So I need to go and get it. Morning. So another fetch and carry day, and I want to pick up some supplies for the above gunwale. So just lining. A short trip to pick up some various screws and fixings and paint and wood and primer, etc. Oh no! We have a disaster. Oh dear goodness, they've run out of tongue-tight screws to finish off the tongue and groove below the gunnels. So those screws aren't going to be here until tomorrow. I'm not going to get the below gunnel lining finished today. Bugger. Right, trying another store. See if I have any luck. Nope. Guess I have to wait for tomorrow then. I did pick up a piece of CLS. Yeah, that was the only one that wasn't a banana. All the rest were all bent out of shape. I'm not going back there then for wood. Right, so what's a bloke to do when you can't have a screw until a Friday? No. So I decided that rather than go down the boat, because there's not a lot I can do down there, start something new. So I'm in my garage and I'm going to start prepping up the plywood for the upper gunnels. Now, like the below gunnels, plywood on a boat or any lining on a boat, you need to be treated. It needs to be sealed on the edges because it's plywood, because it's got some moisture possibilities and condensation behind it. The back of the board needs to be protected. So it's a case of I've got 11 boards here. I need to go and coat them with primer, coat them with a top coat, just a cheap solvent-based wood paint, really. Seal all the edges of the plywood, and then we can put the boards up. So that's going to take a little while to do. So I think I was at a bit of a loose end. Let's get on with that. But I have to tidy up the garage first. Ready to start painting 11 sheets of wood. The good thing is that now that I've moved all the remaining tongue and groove out of the garage and onto the boat, I've got the space now to do these 8x4 sheets. Now the sheets are pretty good. The machine cuts that they did at the lumber yard are excellent. They really are good. There's no, on that wood, on that Garnica efficiency ply, there's no breakout whatsoever. But I am just going to go around each board, just around the edges, and just smooth it off. Just clean it up anyway. Quite hot today. Little glass of iron brew to help me along. So again, just for the record, I'm using the primer that I've used before called Zinsser Bin. It is a primer sealer. It's expensive. It's like £50 a tin. It is expensive, and but 2 tins will do all of this, 2 coats quite easily. It's a primer sealer. So it seals the knots, so you don't need any knotting compound on anything. It will soak into the ply veneers rather nice. It will soak into the edges and seal the edges. It's solvent based, so it's waterproof, very water resistant probably, which is exactly what you want when you're putting the back end up against the lining. On a boat, you get several things to contend with. Clearly heat and cold as the boat expands. If you use varnish, you run the risk of that varnish cracking over time, and moisture getting in behind the boat, behind the varnish, however little it is, and then over a period of time, which could be 10 years or something, I don't know, that'll eventually rot that wood. The Zinsser bin is extremely flexible. So that's what's going on there, and I'll just put a top coat of, although you don't have to, I'll just put a top coat of wood paint on it, just belts and braces, and top coat paint is, trade satinwood style paint is cheap as chips. So that's what's going on. 45 minutes to dry. I'll be back in 45 minutes. Actually, I might use the time to go down to the DIY store and see if they've got a 9-inch roller for solvent paint. The 9-inch rollers I've got is for emulsion, so it'll probably just split the roller as soon as I put the solvent on it. Yeah, it's worth a try. Might be quicker. Second coat. That 9-inch roller made shorter work of that. I just used a short pile roller I got locally. Now clearly, if you were doing like proper facing wood, like your doors or things at home, this wouldn't be the way to do it. But it's just slap it on, get the wood protected. It's in a non-visible part of the wood. So 2 coats of this, big roller, bish bash bosh, coat a top coat, slap it on, done. Well, maybe not slap it on, but finish isn't a particular issue. Top coat time. Not going to sand between coats or anything. done. The hardest part of that was resisting making the finish as you would normally do it if you're painting wood that's visible. That was quite, it's like, oh, I really shouldn't, I should smooth it down, and it's on. Because it's cheap paint, takes ages to dry, that's going to dry overnight, and then it's a case of just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and we'll do that over the next week, I think, if I can get a couple done a day. It's another day and I'm back at the boat. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the screws that I needed to finish off the T&G. They didn't arrive at the store on time for me to come to the boat. Hopefully they'll be there later today, if not tomorrow morning. It's not a huge issue. But I've been informed that, I've known for a while there's an event on tomorrow at the boatyard. But the boatyard manager has asked us not to work over the weekend for that event. So not a lot I can do today. I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to test the electrics, all the sockets that I put in. I'm just going to double check them, make sure everything's okay. You know, I'm like belts and braces, just double check. And I'm going to finish some measurements off. I was going to start the bulkhead at the weekend for the walls between the bathroom and the bedroom, but if we're not allowed to work, and they kind of get the impression they prefer us not to be at the boats, we'll take it as it comes. So for now, I'm just going to tidy up where I've got my workbench so I can get some room in and finish off some measurements, and we'll be good. Tidied up, just testing all the sockets, make sure they're all okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Right, at least they're still working, and I haven't wrecked them and everything that I'm doing. You know, it's the hottest day of the year so far. It's reached 30 degrees outside, which was, when I came into the boat, it was quite cool. It wasn't very hot at all. So the insulation is doing a good job, but I've opened all the windows and that's let the heat in. Bad idea. And while I'm at it, I will check the DC USB sockets too. So plug the wire tails into my little test rig and let's go round the sockets. So this DC socket in the starboard is completely dead. And I'm slowly checking through everything, so with a multimeter everything's good. So we've got power up until this 12 volt socket, but no power further up. So I can only assume that wires come out of the Wago connector or something. So let's take that apart and have a wee look. Yeah, there you go, wires come out. I must have not put it in properly. Darn. Right, that's fixed. It just goes to show you it's worthwhile checking. That was a simple case of I hadn't stripped the wire enough, so the tip of the Wago hadn't gripped properly. So when I tucked it up behind there, it came out. Just goes to show. There you go, all fixed. I'm glad I'm checking these things. Let's go and check the port side, hopefully less troublesome. There you go, that all checks out. Right, glad I checked all of that. It just makes me feel happier that I know all the electrics are done. A bit bloody late, to be honest, after all the cladding's in, but it's in, it's checked, it's good. Not bad for a Friday afternoon. I just had a text from the hardware shop saying my box of tongue and groove screws has arrived. So that's brilliant. It's a bit late. I could have done with them this morning, but better late than never, I suppose. So apparently the delay was due to some kind of global IT outage that stopped the sat nav for the van driver. What a
crap.
So I think we'll wrap up this week's episode here. It has been a really good week, actually. Kind of caught up in where we were last week. Sorry about that, by the way. Absolutely zero comments on last week's video. I think Roma said people were just too bloody shocked. Yeah, nothing outdoes a good bit of toilet humour. Anyway, it took me 4 days to recover from that. I don't know what it was. I ate something bad or something. 4 days, I just felt rough. Awful. Anyway, back to normal this week, as you can see. So thank you for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for the comments. And we continue to get comments from as people are kind of picking up the videos and watching them, so much appreciated with those. I have to say though, in the next 2 weeks we're not going to have a video. It's Roma and I's 40th wedding anniversary in a few days' time. So we have decided to take a break. We're going to go away for a long weekend kind of thing, just spend some time with each other, see family, that kind of stuff. Go to the sunshine, go to the beach, have a couple of nice dinners, you know what it's like. Anyway, so 40 years married. Wow, managed it. So if you click the little subscribe button on YouTube and then click the little bell icon, you'll get a notification when our next video is back on. But it will be a couple of weeks, just for that very reason, you know, having a holiday and then picking up where we were, creating a video, all that sort of stuff. It's been a brilliant week. It's been one of the funnest weeks I've had since we started the boat. I think it's just because it feels like it's coming together, and we need to think about the next bit of planning. So there are 3 things really to focus on. One is the upper wall cladding, which I've started. The internal bulkhead, but I'll keep that as a video on its own thing, I think. And painting, we've got to get the painting done. It might be coming a bit too hot to paint. We shall see. But if it's like this, no way, not a chance. Yeah, about 20 odd degrees Celsius, that's paintable weather. Steel isn't too hot, but not like this. So that's kind of fluid at the moment, but definitely getting that done. Definitely getting it done before the end of October, which is what, 2 months away. Anyway, rabbiting. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Really do appreciate it, as you know. And we'll see you next time.